So with that, why don't we start off with Mike? Do you want to start us off by talking about how things are going with development on Station V3?
Sure. Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. So development is going pretty well with Station V3. So we're working on basically kind of three products in one. The primary product being the extension, the browser-based extension, but then we also have the dashboard experience, which is kind of the website, and then we also have the mobile experience as well. So the extension is what we're going to kind of roll out with first. I think that's what most people are familiar with, and principal development on extension is pretty much completed at this point. We're now in beta testing and going back and forth, kind of fixing bugs and improving some things here and there. And dashboard and mobile are following right behind.
Nice. Yeah, Station V, super exciting. I know a ton of people in the audience are really excited about its launch as well. Why don't we talk a little bit about, Mike, if you want to, how Station V3 is going to differentiate from some of the other Cosmos wallets that are out there?
Sure, and thank you. So one of the big goals with Cosmos right now is IBC. You know, that's I think one of the advantages Cosmos has over other chains and other blockchains is IBC and how interconnected the chains could be. And I think that's really where the focus should be kind of going forward, is bringing these chains together while smoothing out and kind of reducing the friction for the end user. So the end user should understand and feel that they're on another network or moving their assets around, but they should be able to do it all from like one kind of center console. They don't have to worry about kind of how all the guts are made. Is it transferring here? Is it using the right channel there? So I'd say coming right out of the gate, probably one of the features that we're most proud of and we've been doing the most attention on has been working with a lot of partners with emerging technology for routing and swapping. So we're putting in cross-chain swaps directly into the wallet experience so that we get the optimal routes, wherever your chain is. We're using routing partners to kind of find both the most economically advantageous routes, but at the same time, we want the lowest delay. So we don't want to have to wait these very long times for, relayers to swap back and forth. And so I'd say, yeah, cross-chain swaps is where we're starting, and kind of the kind of unsung hero of all this is also our infrastructure. So we have our team working very hard. One of the most difficult parts about doing this is making sure that we have the nodes required, the infrastructure required to operate all of these chains that we support. So in order to, make these relayers work, if there's not a relayer, if there's not a channel open, our infrastructure team has been putting relayers up, and so yeah, I'd say that was probably one of the big differentiators between us and some other walls, is that we're working on all of our own infrastructure, and we're also working on with these teams to bring, make IBC a little bit smaller, and make the path smaller. With those cross-chain swaps, though, something I'm really excited about that I've been playing with for a while now is what we're doing for fee abstraction. So leveraging the swap partners and the routing partners, we want to take the friction out of moving to another network. Maybe you just transferred some USDC over from, one of the USDC bridges, or maybe you went through Axelar or something like that, or maybe you on-ramped directly into Cosmos. What our goal is to make it so that you can use the entire Cosmos network without necessarily having to worry about having the L1 tokens. You want to do something on Juno, something just happened on Terra, something just happened on Osmosis. We want you to be able to use the station wallet to be able to interact on those chains and not worry, you don't have the gas. Or maybe you accidentally sent a transfer over to something, and your funds are on this chain, but you don't have the L1 token to get it off of that chain. We're using the swaps that we put into the cross-chain swaps to do fee abstraction. It's kind of like a transmute. You want to take the funds that you do have, whether it's Luna or whether it's another L1 token, and we want you to be able to transfer that into any other L1 token so that you can we're kind of greasing the pipes to make it nice and easy to go around. it's just continuing on to different things that set us apart. I think the easy to understand activity history. So with IBC transactions bringing Cosmos together, explorers are still a little bit behind on that. Even some really cool explorers that have really cool visualizations, what they're behind on is that they're still looking at things as one chain at a time. When you're in your wallet and you do an IBC transfer, something like that, you don't want to just see the first transfer. You want to see the first transfer, the last transfer, and anything in between. We're taking the transfers that you do within station or even without a station on the same wallet. We're taking those and we're putting them into very easy to understand activity history. And so yeah, so our goal is to bring the entire lifespan of a transaction into just an easy to understand just activity list. You want to just click on it and see, oh, I sent this from here to there, I swapped this from here to there, and you want to see the entire life cycle. Of course, you can drill down into each one and see the actual transaction on that native Chains Explorer, but we want to give you an entire holistic experience. So yeah, and then I'd say one other thing that kind of sets us apart is, and I think this kind of echoes back to a lot of Terra's history in our approach to money and approach to fiat currencies, is that while USD is a standard, we're providing conversion within the wallet, so you can see what your values are in your currency. So whether the value is relative to US dollars, euros, pesos, yen, yuan, we offer a variety of currencies and languages for that matter so that you can localize your experience to what matters to you. And so yeah, I'd say those are probably, I kind of rattled off there for a little while, so and didn't really pause for any questions. So if you had anything Zion, that you wanted to touch base on there specifically, sorry, I kind of just machine gunned that off a little bit.
No, that was fantastic. Yeah, so hopefully everyone caught everything that you had mentioned there. I think that it'll be even more clear, obviously, when Station launches, how exciting some of these features are and how much they simplify the UX, interacting with multiple blockchains. I think most people within Cosmos, even though some chains can be a bit more kind of religious in nature, kind of a bit more maxi than others, most Cosmos users are interacting with multiple chains, and Station V3 will be unequivocally the easiest place to interact with multiple chains within Cosmos. And that's because of these features like native cross-chain swaps, fee abstraction, so you don't need to worry about, which tokens you're holding in your wallet at any time to, do different things that you want to do, send tokens around, do a swap, etc. Obviously seeing everything that you're, able to do and like an easy to understand activity history spot is going to be super useful. And then obviously appealing to Station's global audience. I mean, Station's a product that has hundreds of thousands of users, worldwide, and there needs to be a way for those users to access and utilize the application without needing to do manual conversions. I know our old friend Don Quar used to talk about way back when about needing to do conversions to the euro because everything back then was denominated in dollars pretty much. So that's going to be a super useful feature for the global audience that is not denominating things in dollars. Mike, maybe you want to talk a little bit about some of the launch phases. So as you said, there's obviously multiple kind of products built into one name, which is Station V3. You have like the extensions, you have the mobile app. So do you want to talk a little bit about what we're planning for the launch there so we can get these products out as quickly as possible and people can start using them?
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much. Yeah, so right now we are actually just transitioning from our internal alpha phase to an external beta phase. So we've gotten a lot of just great feedback from internal users. We really want to target even non-technical users and technical users alike. I think in crypto specifically, I think it's very important to pay attention to both the user experience and the developer experience. And so we've been collecting a lot of feedback from both communities on wallet implementation and how some of these things work and what things we want to, how we want to just move around certain things in the interface or kind of optimize some of the feedback. So right now we're moving from on the extension side, we're moving from the internal alpha to the external beta. And so, yeah, so that works. Right now we are supporting all the major Chrome-based browsers. So you've got Chrome, Edge, Arc, and Brave. That's who we're targeting, like the primary target for the extension. For the dashboard features, something that I'm really excited about is working with the Pulsar team, who's recently joined the TFL team, to bring that kind of dashboard experience directly into Station desktop. So when you get to your portfolio, you have a really good holistic view of everywhere that your assets are, and so that's one of the major features we're putting in. That so the sequence of things is we're going to be the beta 4 extension is going to be out first. And then we're going to be moving to the dashboard very soon after, and they'll probably be releasing around, the same time together. And so the other features that are included in the dashboard are, you have your staking and governance with a lot more rich data about what's going on there. As I mentioned, the activity list that exists in the wallet will have a more comprehensive view of that activity list on the dashboard. And all of the staking, governance, voting, and all of that stuff that you're used to being in the Station desktop, that's all going to be in there. And then also, of course, last but not least, is our mobile experience. That takes a little bit more testing. That's being all developed in what's called React Native. And so what that means is that we're able to produce the same application and ship it to both iOS and Android. And I'm very, very excited about the mobile experience. As a Station user for several years now, I was always very, very proud of the fact that we had the #1 mobile experience, I would say, in all of crypto. You know, before we kind of went interchain, I'd say that the Terra community had the best mobile experience. I'd say consistently the most mobile dApps that were mobile first, and then progressive web apps as well. And so we're really trying to target that feel with the V3 launch of the mobile app as well. So that we're getting into test flight and the other mobile testing apparatuses, so that we can both facilitate internal testing and then start to spread that out to other users. But that's where things definitely kind of open up a lot more, because you have different mobile experiences depending on where you are in the world. You might have really good coverage, not very good coverage, and we want to make sure that we give you the most robust experience and access to everything that you expect to have in the extension in the mobile app.
Thanks for that, Mike. That was super helpful. Yeah, and if anyone here wants to follow along with Station updates and keep an eye out for any leaked content on Station V3, you can follow at Station Wallet on Twitter X here, and then you'll be able to get all those updates right from there. If anyone has any questions about Station, I'm going to look at the replies here. Mike, I did see a couple questions here about Station. So one was about Station Desktop. Is there going to be a Station Desktop V3? Do you want to answer that?
Yeah, thank you for that question. That is one thing I think our Station desktop users will be, unfortunately, not as enthused about. We will be deprecating the Station desktop app. We've just had found that a lot of the overhead around maintaining an entire separate app was a bit prohibitive to further development. So when the V3 launch happens, the current state of the desktop app will be kind of like frozen where it is. And then we'll be slowly encouraging users to use the web experience for the dashboarding.
Yeah, so it's the desktop app as it is now is basically it's the same experience that you get with the web app version, right? Unlike if you look up station.money and you're using it, that's what when we say web, that's what we're referring to. If you were to go to station.money and you're using the Station right on your browser, in conjunction with your extension, that's going to be exactly how you use Station V3 as well. So you'll be using the extension if you're using, different applications within the Terra ecosystem or in other ecosystems as well. And then you'll be using the the web app, or we're going to be calling that the dashboard moving forward, for doing things like staking, governance, monitoring the performance of your assets using the dashboard, looking at your activity history, which you'll also be able to do in the extension, but you'll be able to do all of that from the web app as well, or from the dashboard. Let me see if there's any other questions here. Deving.zone will be nice to see XAU and BTC as local currencies in Terra Station v3. I don't think those are going to make it into v3, but possibly in the future, sir. All right. Any questions from the audience here on Station v3 and the upcoming launch? Otherwise, we will transition into talking about the first of two governance proposals that we've been working on. All right. Well, it looks like we don't have any additional questions for now. If there's more in the future, then we will try and get to those. So the first governance proposal that we'll talk about today that I've been working on is in relation to Alliance. And so just to give a brief overview on Alliance, so Alliance is an open source tool that really just allows blockchain communities to vote on which assets can be staked on their chain to both earn staking rewards as well as be redistributed to native token stakers. And these tokens that are voted in by the community are known as Alliance assets. So almost any token can qualify as an Alliance asset. So this is kind of the versatility or the generalizability of this tool, is you could whitelist things like liquid staking tokens from other blockchains, which Terra has already done, liquidity provider tokens, stable coins, receipt tokens from depositing into different DeFi applications, really any of those things. So that versatility empowers blockchain communities to not only form these mutually beneficial relationships with other chains, and that's where the name Alliance comes from, but also redirect some of their staking rewards to incentivize various activities that benefit the entire ecosystem. So this could be things such as liquidity provision, application development, liquidation bidding, or depositing into different applications or things like that. Outside of that, so far Terra has utilized Alliance to form these relationships with other chains like Migloo, strengthen Luna as an interchain staking asset being used on some of these other chains, attract users and capital to Terra, and also reward participants who participated in battle testing the Alliance module ahead of its public release. But Alliance, as I just briefly mentioned, there is a super versatile tool, and there are a myriad of different ways that we can utilize it to grow the Terra ecosystem, and we've been thinking about how we can go about doing that. And so we're going to be publishing a proposal soon, which will look to whitelist key Terra LP tokens as Alliance assets. And the first two pools that we're going to be looking to whitelist as Alliance assets will be a USDC, native USDC, so Noble USDC to USDT stable swap pool, as well as an Atom to Luna pool. And then in the future, possibly add other kind of core Cosmos tokens as well, like a TIA to Luna pool, DYDX to Luna, and possibly Osmo to Luna as well. But we'll start off with probably the initial proposal will just be the stable swap pool and Atom to Luna. And the Alliance asset parameters for each LP, so like the reward weight or the Luna staking rewards that are being directed to these LPs, obviously that's up for the community to decide like what that's going to be. But for each LP, Terra could target APRs, not including swap fees, that are competitive with the highest APRs offered for these pools across Cosmos, which will drive new users and capital into Terra. So you could imagine a stable swap target APR, the community could target an APR of like 40%, and the Atom to Luna pool, you could target an APR of like 20%. And you could do that with, kind of somewhat of an insignificant amount of total Luna staking rewards. And the way this would work from a UX perspective for those who might be curious is, essentially, once these LP tokens are whitelisted as Alliance assets on Terra, users will be able to basically just how they would provide liquidity normally, get the tokens, either both of the tokens or one of the tokens, go to a DEX, provide liquidity, and then they would just on station stake their LP tokens in the Alliance module to earn additional Luna staking rewards. They'd be earning swap fees, any additional external incentives on those pools on the DEX, if there are some, as well as the Luna staking rewards from the Alliance module. And incentivizing users to provide liquidity to these pools on Terra offers a number of benefits to the Terra ecosystem. So first and foremost, as I mentioned, attracting new users and capital to the Terra ecosystem because these rates are going to be more competitive or on par with the rates that you would get anywhere else in Cosmos. It also drives increased stablecoin and Cosmos token transaction volume to Terra, which will lead to a higher staking yield for Luna stakers. It'll increase the liquidity and the tokens available for projects that want to build DeFi on Terra. So continuing with the trend that TFL has spearheaded on Terra by providing liquidity for blue chip assets on Terra, this is going to be continuing that with strengthening the liquidity for stablecoins as well as core Cosmos tokens on Terra. So that will make Terra an even more auspicious environment for developers to build DeFi applications on top of that liquidity and those tokens. And it also provides a powerful example of how chains can utilize Alliance to strengthen their economies. So just further providing more examples of why chains would integrate Alliance and form an alliance with Luna, for example. And let me give a brief overview of kind of the reward allocation model here. It's very similar to the way that we've been, the way we implemented the virtual token model with liquid staking tokens on Terra. So, we would be using a virtual token similar to what we've done with LSTs on Terra, allocate a portion of Luna staking rewards to that token, let's say 5 or 10% of Luna staking rewards go to that token, just as an example, and then have them provided to each Alliance LP. So, the way we divvy that up, we'll kind of outline, what the reward weight that we're targeting there is, and then how they'll be kind of broken up between the different LPs, because we'll obviously add to this. These are just the two first starting pools, but we'll add to it over time, most likely. So, those rewards will be like what we, like the total Luna staking rewards that we put in the proposal will be what we use for it'll be like the pool of rewards that go to all future LP tokens that we whitelist as Alliance assets for this purpose. And to the extent that the amount of Luna staking rewards go into these pools is too much, for like a target APR or something like that, we can redirect the excess Luna back to Luna staking rewards for native stakers so that nothing goes to waste. So that's kind of the proposal there. So let me pause there. I know I kind of threw a lot out there to see if anyone has any questions or anything they want to discuss with regards to that. And anyone on the panel as well, if you guys want to chime in with anything that you want to chat about with regards to the prop. Shout out to Evan, by the way. Evan helped with on the research side of things, modeling things out for what we might want to set for reward weights and things like that for the proposal. I'll just check the replies here to see. All right. No questions about this proposal. All right. Well, we're gonna be publishing this proposal in the coming weeks, so stay tuned for when that goes live on Agora, and then you can join the discussion there to talk about that and any of the specific parameters or the proposal from a fundamental perspective as well. And then with that, I will hand it off to Evan. Evan, do you want to talk a little bit about Alliance DAO? Also in the vein of Alliance, this is the project that we recently launched, as well as the NFT collection that went live as well. Do you want to talk about that, Evan, and maybe give an overview of the claim that's happening now?
Hey, sure. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, so Alliance DAO, NFT collection to reward people who participated in the Game of Alliance, which was a incentivized testnet to test the Alliance module back in February. The claim period started um, earlier in December, and it's ending on January 12th. So just want to make sure that everybody who participated in the Game of Alliance, um, you know, claims their NFT before January 12th, because after that date, you can no longer claim your NFT. You can head to dao.alliance.money and connect your wallet and claim your NFT. There's also more if you follow the Alliance DAO on Twitter. Um, there's more information on that. But basically, the claim has been going pretty well. I think we have like over 1,060 claims so far. There's like been a lot of trading going on Necropolis. Shout out to Backbone Labs for their fabulous work. Um, I think total sale volume right now is like 50,000 Luna, something like that. A lot of NFTs were minted like just within the last like week, I would say. That was pretty cool to see. So, keep minting. We still have, about a week before the end of the mint period. So if you haven't got yours yet, uh, go ahead and connect your wallet and get one. Um, so yeah, I guess after the mint period, um, or the claim period, any unclaimed NFTs after January 12th are going to be sent to the DAO treasury. They'll be minted by the contract and sent there, and then the DAO, Alliance DAO governance will figure out what to do with them. You can stake your NFT on Enterprise, the Enterprise DAO web app. There's the Alliance DAO there. You can stake. There have been some staking rewards for the DAO so far, like some ROR given out and some other tokens. Right now, there's no Alliance rewards being given to the NFTs, but since we are getting closer to the end of the claim period, that we will be putting up our prop to the governance forum, outlining, the reward weight and the different parameters of the Alliance asset owned by the NFT contract. And basically, I'll give a really brief overview. The idea is that these rewards are stored in the NFT contract, and then you can claim them. Each NFT can claim a portion of the rewards. Each NFT grows rewards an equal amount, and then you can claim them, but you can only claim them once. So it's kind of like a last man standing there. It's been a really fun project. It's been there's been a lot of support, a lot of activity on the Alliance DAO Telegram room. Again, if you follow Alliance DAO on Twitter, you can in the description, I think we have the Telegram room. You can join the conversation and join the DAO and be part of governance. One last thing is that we're going to be having a town hall discussion tomorrow discussing the Alliance asset proposal, how the mint is going, and another few ideas for what to do after the DAO gets its treasury going. So make sure to tune in tomorrow at 3 p.m. UTC.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks for that overview, Evan. Appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, so definitely for those who participate in Game of Alliance, head to DAO.alliance.money to claim your Alliance DAO NFT before the claim period ends. And before we get into the second governance proposal that we've been working on, which Stephen will talk about, why don't we get through a couple of these questions in the replies. So So there's a couple people, Mike, asking about like when V3, but I don't think that I think you guys will just be happily surprised. You know, I don't think we need to talk about specific timelines at this point. It's going to be coming very soon. And like Mike said, it's going to be because there's like, you know, multiple products roll into one. It's going to be coming in stages. Um, so another person was asking about Doe and how the case is going there, if he's going to be extradited. So, you know, I don't have any unique insight into Doe's personal legal situation. You know, no one at TFL does. So, you know, what you guys are reading in the press is the same information that we have, and so, yeah, nothing really to add to that. What happened to Jax? So Jax is currently being put on hold just because the guy that was working on Jax is he's taking a leave of absence right now, and so we may revisit that later this year, but that's kind of where things stand on Jax right now. It's mostly complete, and yeah, we just need to be kind of ready to go when we launch that to kind of service the new developer community that's going to be coming into the Terra ecosystem and utilizing that and building things in JavaScript, because that's an entire undertaking within itself. So why don't we talk about, Stephen, do you want to talk about the governance proposal that you've been working on there, and maybe give an overview for everyone and some of the benefits that we're seeing?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you very much.
Or I'm sorry, not the benefits that we're seeing, the benefits that it can bring to the Terra ecosystem.
Right, I got you. So this second one actually came up when Mike and I were discussing Station, and we were discussing how to make it easy for new users to start with Station. And as we were working through the different things, I don't remember which one of us had, but it's like, why aren't we just allowing stablecoins to be accepted as fees on Terra? Which people who have been around the ecosystem for a long time know that's how the previous chain worked. So we're like, well, there's no particular reason why we couldn't do that. Talked with everybody, and said, you know, this is a really, really good idea. So we're going to post a prop on Commonwealth because we want to discuss this with the community. The idea behind it is, you know, this is a way to make Terra, you know, once again be a good blockchain for first-time users. Being able to accept stablecoins like we would start with Axel USDC, but eventually it could go to other ones like Noble USDC, Kava USDT, Agorix IST, etc. Letting these be used as fee tokens makes the user experience much more simple, especially for new users. That means they can quickly on-ramp. That was the discussion Mike and I were having, how to on-ramp, and begin interacting on-chain with as little friction as possible, which will hopefully lead to increased volume over time of transactions. It will also give options for all users. You know, right now you have to spend your Luna to interact on Terra. Maybe you don't want to. Maybe you want to hold it. Maybe you want to do something else with it. This gives all users more options for how to pay transaction fees. But Luna will maintain its ability to pay transaction fees on Terra, and furthermore, we don't want to make it the optimal fee token by making it cheaper compared to other stablecoins. So we're going to be posting a signaling proposal on this on Commonwealth. I say it's a signaling proposal because fee stuff is technically just something validators can do. But this is a big enough change in the direction from what it's been for the last while that, you know, I feel it's important to get community input about it. So that one will go up here shortly. We're going to start the conversation just with Axel USDC. Some of the other ones require some updates, specifically once Station V3 is out, and that will make them an option in the future. But yeah, that's what we're planning. Does anybody have any questions?
Thanks for the overview, Stephen. Yeah, Sefi, you requested to speak. How you doing, sir?
Hey guys, I was thinking about so there's a couple of protocols out there. One is like Circle USDC's like native protocol where you can kind of like mint Circle tokens native onto any blockchain, is my understanding, if you incorporate their system into your chain. The other one is Chainlink's CCIP, which has a similar capability. Think like IBC, except for other systems and in terms of cross-chain operability. But in theory, you might have like, for example, a USDT on Chainlink CCIP system, and then it essentially creates a mint burn mechanism where Chainlink will keep track of like what stablecoins you've imported into your ecosystem, burn them somewhere else, mint them here. But it might be a good like growth vector to look at, particularly Chainlink CCIP being among one of the earlier chains to add something like that. I don't know how difficult it is. I have no technical clue at all. But the idea there would be like the more chains that incorporate Chainlink CCIP, the more likely you're going to be able to bring in like Chainlink real world assets into the ecosystem to trade, or you're going to be able to bring in a stable coin released on CCIP to trade. But Chainlink would basically handle the Oracle service plus the sort of like mint burn of those assets from chain to chain, and essentially kind of function as a layer zero, I guess. I don't know exactly how it works, but maybe something for TFL to look at incorporating as a way to sort of just like bring new liquidity in and make it easier for people to play games on Terra. And probably like having that earlier than later gives a little bit of competitive advantage, because I don't think a lot of chains have that yet, which could be kind of cool.
Yeah, so I don't know as much about Chainlink CCIP, so I'll let either one of the other people on the panel talk about that. Your other point on native USDC, I do, however. So there is native USDC in Cosmos. There's also native USDT. Native USDC is on Noble. So that's what I referred to earlier. Later on, we could do Noble USDC. That's native USDC. That's going to be the only chain in Cosmos that's going to have native USDC, because
I think Akash also does. Akash is not really a chain with dexes and stuff, right? It's just so that it does have native also, just to point that out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I might be right. But yeah, Noble is the one they're pushing everybody from. And for USDT, it's the same with Kava. So those are the official ones. And we just want to integrate those because anybody can IBC them over. Not sure on CCIP though, if anybody else wants to chime in on that one.
Yeah, CCIP is something like maybe worth researching as a team. I don't really know too much about it, but it looks like a good vector for like bringing in liquidity from other places without having to use the traditional bridge infrastructure, which obviously has problems. So yeah, IBC between Cosmos chains, CCIP, and I think Eigenlayer, I believe, is doing some similar shit like that on Ethereum. But anyway, point is like being early to the cross-chain game is all I'm advocating for. I don't know too much technicals about it.
Yeah, and if I could
just real quick, hey Sefi, long time no chat. Wanted to correct about the USDC on Cosmos. It's just Noble that has native USDC. Akash does not have native. They use IBC from Noble.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Also, I totally agree. Being early to the cross-chain game, extremely important. I think that's a way Terra can differentiate moving forwards.
Yeah, and if I could speak to the Station side of things, one of the ways we want to try to build swaps directly into Station is in a modular fashion. open to extension, closed to development. So the idea is whether we're using, Skip as a partner, TFM as a partner, Squid Router, the Axelar team really pushing forward with GMP, which is kind of like the prototype, like between various networks, like what IBC hooks is within Cosmos. GMP was really pushed forward by the Axelar and Squid teams, working with them on that. I love the CCTP front end, and I would love to work with that as either whether it's a swap interface that we use or some sort of bridging interface to get the USDC onto Terra. Is definitely in our crosshairs and something that we're looking at going forward.
Yeah, Michael, you should hit us up. So Blake, who was on my team for a long time, built CCTP.money, and my team did the CCTP implementation. We'd love to help you guys make onboarding USDC onto Terra as easy as possible. Also, as far as GMP goes, we worked with GMP while we were at worked with GMP quite a bit. For more complex applications, it's a little bit tougher to make that work, but there's a number of weird technical reasons why that is.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, definitely open up to chat as much as possible. That the goal of Station really going forward is, bring Cosmos a little bit closer, reduce the friction to users, and then go beyond Cosmos and make that friction be just as low. And I think that with tools like right now with Squid Router, and there's a lot of other tools really breaking down the barriers between chains. I've done some really fun stuff. My wife is an avid DeFi Kingdoms player, and the fact that I've been able to get stuff from the Cosmos over to wherever she's doing DFK stuff and back, it's been excellent. And that's exactly what I want to do, is continue to break down those barriers between Cosmos and other ecosystems, but then also intercosmos. So thank you.
Oh yeah, I think we have Grin. Just got his hand raised, or her hand raised. Do you want to speak?
Yes, this is Grin. I am the she who had her hand raised. I had two questions about one about the Alliance DAO, you lovely boys, and then one about the stablecoin proposal.
Okay.
Go for it.
Go ahead.
So for the Alliance DAO, if there are, say, 8,500 of these NFTs that are not minted and they go to the treasury, they will continue to accrue the rewards, the lovely rewards. And then would the DAO be able to vote to just break them and put the rewards in the treasury? And then if that happened, would the additional reward stream now accrue at a higher rate to each individual extant NFTs?
Yeah, that is one thing that could happen. That's not really what I want to happen, but it is something that could happen.
Oh, it's about your patriarchal control, is it, Evan?
Not really, but that's totally something. If the DAO decides to do that, that could happen. Right now, there's no rewards going to them. The Alliance proposal hasn't been put up yet, but it will be put up, in the coming days, and we'll have a space on that tomorrow.
My second question, if I may, gentlemen. Evan, is that okay with you? With what you want to happen? May I have my second question?
Yeah, go
I'm
for
deferring. Okay, my second question is, although I understand that using a basket of different bridge stables or Cosmos native stables as gas on Luna might be user friendly, to me it seems like it might be Luna holder unfriendly. Although it could bring more liquidity to the chain, it sort of takes away one unique use for Luna. In the prior ecosystem with UST and Luna, there was a direct relationship between the creation of additional UST and the destruction of Luna, so that even if you chose to hold and spend the UST, that there was a benefit to Luna holders. And so Luna holders loved to see their little USTs be destroyed for fees on chain. because then they knew that their Luna was becoming more scarce and valuable. But if you allow external stable coins with no direct tie to Luna to be used for gas on the chain, it seems to take away then from the unique value of holding Luna. And I'm not sure what would step in to replace some of that value, except for maybe some additional TVL. But TVL is sort of like a disloyal husband. If it finds something more interesting, it'll go there. And so it's not like that TVL is like a permanent benefit. So I'm worried about diluting the value of Luna by inviting the use of all these little stable coins. Have you thought about that much?
Yeah, it's a good question. So we did think about that, and this is one of the reasons why using Luna in this proposal, one of the things we'll be putting forth is the option to still continue to use Luna at a lower fee rate than using the stablecoin. So although you'll be able to use the stablecoins to pay for fees, it will cost slightly more to do that than it will to use Luna. So Luna will still be the preferred fee token within Terra. It'll just be that users have a greater number of options with regards to using Luna to pay for fees.
That's interesting. I don't remember hearing that as part of your gentleman's proposal, but thank you. That at least gives me some confidence that you are thinking about the issue. And you can always turn it off later if you want, correct? You can turn it off.
Yes.
Thank you,
yeah,
boys.
You're welcome. Okay. All right. So yeah, that is kind of the discussion around that proposal there. We're going to be posting that for discussion on Agora sometime soon, and people can chime in with their thoughts on the new fee tokens that could be coming to Terra soon. So we have about 9 minutes left. I wanted to get Miguel up here to talk about Pulsar. So TFL acquired Pulsar, I think 2 months ago, and they are a leading data infrastructure and cross-chain asset management platform. And so, Miguel, how are you, sir?
Hey, Zion. Thanks for having me. Hey, everyone. A lot of friendly faces here. Hope you had a great year. Yeah, I'm doing fine. Wanted to talk a little bit about Pulsar today.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, why don't you, you can start wherever you'd like, but if you'd like to talk about, kind of how 2023 went for you guys and coming into 2024, what you guys are kind of thinking about.
Yeah, cool. So before we enter in 2024, let me just quickly recap what we did last year for those who weren't following our journey then. So last year alone, we added support for 45 new blockchains and 600 new DeFi protocols, officially making us like the most complete portfolio manager in the space. With almost 100 networks today. So if you go to Pulsar Finance right now and you add your address, whether that's a Terra, IBC, other IBC, EVM chains, or even Solana, Cardano, Tron, you'll see all your holdings broken down by different categories like staking, farms, debts, and even NFTs are tracked there. We also added support for centralized exchanges last year, such as Binance, Coinbase, and others. So we also got you covered there. Now, fast forwarding to 2024, and after getting acquired by Terra, we built this huge foundation, right, in terms of number of chains. The first few months of this year are mostly months of consolidation and fine-tuning, as we have scaled our user base quite a lot over the past few months with this mini bull market, and we noticed some stuff could be further improved to allow for the next 100x users to have a smooth experience using our dashboard. I believe this year could be quite pivotal for the sector with the institutionalization of crypto. So we are trying to prepare for that as better as we can. Regarding these new features for this year, we have a lot of them in the pipeline. Some of them I cannot discuss publicly as of today, but I believe users will be super excited with what's to come when we decide to announce it. Anyway, from what I can share now, we're working on providing more detailed insights to pretty much every user on our portfolio. So, for example, features such as comparing the performance of different assets across portfolios, helping you understand what holdings are performing better every day. You'll also be able to compare your portfolio total performance against other assets such as Bitcoin or Ethereum. You'll be able to see the full exposure broken down per ecosystem and category. This can help you mitigate risk to see if you're super exposed to either a token or an ecosystem. Besides that, we are also working with the Station team, as Mike mentioned, to make Station this one killer app where you have this 360 view and control over all your holdings. This is pretty much the main thing that made me bullish from the moment I joined TFL, to have this cross-chain dashboard, like kind of bundling together with these cross-chain wallets. And I think, yeah, I think for now it's all I can share. Let me know if you guys have any questions. We don't have much time left, but we'd love to get some ideas in the chat on what we can build next from our most loyal users and the ones that use us every day, and whether so the way you see Pulsar Finance merging with Station, how do you see that going? You have any ideas? We're always on the lookout for feedback, and yeah, you guys are our most loyal users. Would love to hear you.
Yeah, thanks for that, Miguel. Yeah, if anyone here, you know, I use Pulsar. I know a ton of people in the Terra ecosystem use Pulsar as well. It's most people's preferred portfolio management tool. And I think with the addition of these new features, I think it's going to be even better than it is now. And so if there's anyone in the audience that, you know, wants to provide some thoughts on Pulsar in terms of new features you'd like to see, like Miguel said, or how you see it merging with Station in the future, feel free to just request to speak and we will bring you up. Otherwise, you could also reply to the tweet for this space. Jack, do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, you know, I was a Station user way back in the day, and I haven't picked it up recently, but I was, you know, listening to this and a couple other things I've seen recently. It seems like there's a lot of new features. Really excited to check those out.
Yeah, did you catch the beginning of this space? Mike talked about what's coming in Station V3.
I didn't. I think I actually have a DM from somebody on your team with some details on this that I was reading. Anyway, no, I did not catch the beginning of the space.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's definitely, I mean, there's a lot coming to Station in V3. And I think, you know, if you liked Station V1, Chris talked about this in his Cosmoverse keynote this year in Turkey. One of the things that he was talking about is, you know, if you liked Station V1, if you like the original Station, you're going to love Station V3 because it's returning to that ease of use and simple experience. And it makes it even better with the fact that Station has moved to being an interchain wallet with the implementation of things like cross-chain swaps, fee abstraction. So you're not going to need to you know, like if you send tokens to a chain, I think everyone's done this at some point using multiple Cosmos chains. You send tokens to one chain and then you realize that you've kind of orphaned them there because you don't have the fee token you need for that chain to get them off. So then you need to acquire that token, send it to that wallet, and then it's a whole process. So fee abstraction will simplify that in V3 as well. You also have the activity history. So you'll be able to see, you know, all of the things that you're doing across chains without needing to dive into like multiple individual block explorers to do that.
You know, I think what you're describing here is a set of features that is going to be the sort of user dashboard for all of their crypto. And I think that there's a lot of folks trying to build this right now. I think honestly, the Cosmos stack is probably by far the best stack to build this on because there's the most different chains to poke around on, and there's enough cross-chain affordances to make building out a lot of the earlier features easy. But I think there's a ton of value in this kind of like super app that helps mediate interactions with a bunch of different chains.
Yeah, Totally agree. Yeah, that's kind of the thesis behind Station, is to become the interface to Web3. And like you said, Cosmos is the perfect stack to do that. I've seen a lot of praise for the Cosmos stack on Twitter recently, actually. So hopefully that'll continue in the coming months. I know a lot of other ecosystems are kind of exploring it, and we've seen kind of a mini Cosmos ecosystem explosion in the past few months. So we'll see if that continues.
Yeah, I think that this is something that we've all been working towards for a long time, and just shows the strength of the underlying technology and the community that we've built here. And I think that there's a lot of exciting stuff for Cosmos in store in 2024.
Absolutely. Yeah, super excited for this new year. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah. Check out, I think the thing, there's many things that I am excited for in 2024. My team built Noble and the native USDC integration, so seeing that continue to grow, as well as any number of other things that we work on with our portfolio companies, Galileo, or different partners at Strangelove. But I think by far the thing that I'm most excited about is Penumbra. Very, very cool. If you guys don't know, go check it out. It's going to be a huge launch this year.
What's Penumbra? That may be a total naive question. There might be a ton of people that already know what it is, but
no, yeah, there are no bad questions in crypto because there's so much jargon and insider knowledge. Everyone has to ask questions. Penumbra is their Twitter page says a fully private cross-chain proof of stake network and decentralized exchange for the Cosmos and beyond. But what it is,
you want to talk about jargon? That's literally like the most incomprehensible statement I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's built by a bunch of folks who helped build Zcash, and it is
nice.
Real software-based privacy. So there's no SGX anywhere in the middle. They've done the whole thing using zero-knowledge proofs. It is really an excellent chain, and they've got a DEX on it, and it's fully IBC compatible. So you guys will be able to integrate it into Station and move assets over into this private zone. Penumbra is truly a DEX from the future, is what Zaki calls it, and I think that's definitely true.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I've been waiting for privacy to come to Cosmos. It's been it's been in the Ethereum space for a while now, but yeah, that'll be interesting. I'm gonna check that out. When are they planning on launching? Oh, I may have cut out, or
No, you're still here. I still hear you.
oh, Jack might have. Oh, here he's requesting to speak. Sometimes it happens. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, sometimes that happens.
Launching, I think sometime Q2 next year. They don't have a public date for it yet, but they did. You can go in and try out the command line tooling and some of the other pieces. They have a website, summoning.penumbra.zone, where in order to set up the proofs for starting the chain for a lot of the zero knowledge stuff, there's a ceremony required. And this is step one of the ceremony. And you can go contribute randomness along with 10,000 other people. So go check out summoning.penumbra.zone and follow there for more information on launch. Cool.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. That's interesting. Yeah, there's been a lot of new projects launching in Cosmos recently, huh?
Yeah, I think that there's always a lot of new projects launching in Cosmos. And I think that that's because we are by far the best build your own blockchain toolkit in the world. And I think that, we don't say that enough as an ecosystem because I think there's a lot of navel gazing and there's a lot of people who want to, point out the flaws in what we've built. But the fact is that there's nothing else even remotely comparable. Optimism needed to have a huge investment from Coinbase, along with a number of other things to get Base to build on top of the OP stack. But you don't see a huge influx of other OP stack rollups. And why is that? It's because the bridging tooling is bad and insecure in Ethereum. I think we had another hack last week, and there's many, many other things there. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming up. Appreciate it. So we're slightly over time here, but I wanted to thank everyone for dropping by. There's a ton of other stuff that we can discuss, but we do these every 2 weeks. So drop by in a couple weeks. We will have our next one. And any closing thoughts from the panel that we have up here? Anything you guys want to close with? Otherwise, we can close it off.
I just want to give a shout out again to Evan for writing all the lore for Alliance DAO. We're gonna compile all of his planet dossiers on the Terra Medium soon. So check that out if you missed them before the mint began. Those will go up there soon.
Thank you. Yeah, and tomorrow at 3 p.m. UTC, I think that's like 10 a.m. EST, we're going to have an Alliance DAO town hall space, so tune in for that. I'll see you guys there.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you to everyone who asked questions, who listened in live, and are listening back to the recording of this space on Terra Spaces. Shout out to Terra Spaces as always, and we will see you guys next time.